Pro-Palestinian protests have taken over various parts of the world, both in the southern and the northern hemisphere. Hundreds of thousands have been protesting against the Israeli genocide in Palestine since October 7th attacks. Israeli actions and the United States military support were condemned by the protesters globally. Indonesian Muslim communities gathered in Jakarta and marched toward the U.S. Embassy while carrying Palestinian flags.
Kenapa kita membela? Ya, sama muslim adalah bersaudara. Kita sesama muslim bersaudara. Kalau ada saudara kita seperti tubuh, kalau misalnya tubuh kita sakit, maka kita akan merasakan sakit. Begitupun juga sesama muslim ketika ditindas kita merasakan sakit. Ini bagian daripada upaya kecil bangsa Indonesia.
New Zealanders marched in the capital to show support for Palestine and held protests in front of the Parliament House. Protesters chanted "Free Palestine" and asked for the Israeli occupation in Gaza. Protesters chanted "Free Palestine" and asked to end the Israeli occupation in Gaza. Anti-war signs and placards were displayed as the protesters rallied across the main avenues in Wellington. Lebanon's capital Beirut hosted another pro-Palestine rally of peace and human rights activists. Lebanon's capital Beirut hosted another pro-Palestine rally of peace and human rights demonstrations. Protests included many children, women, and people of all ages to show sympathy and heartfelt support for the victims in Gaza.
نقدر يعني قد ما فينا نعطيهم قوة لشعب غزة ولأهل فلسطين كلهم، قد ما فينا نعطي قوة نعطيهم دافع أكبر ليضلوا يحاربوا هيدا الظلم اللي هن فيه، وإن شاء الله بيقدروا بإذن الله هيدي السنة قبل ما تخلص يكونوا متحررين، ونقدر كمان نحن نروح ونصلي معهم بالقدس بإذن.
A funeral took place in Nabti for Hezbollah martyrs died in southern Lebanon in the Israel conflict. Hundreds participated in the funeral as the members of the Hezbollah were laid to rest. Pro-Palestinian demonstrations took place during the funeral, as Hezbollah has been engaging with Israeli forces since October 7th. Karachi protests continue in the third week of the Gaza occupation, as Pakistanis have been the loudest protester of Israeli attacks. Marching protesters carried Palestinian flags and condemned American military support to Israel.
दुनिया देख रही है कि हर रोज हर आने वाला दिन गोया मुसलमानों की ऐसी नस्ल कुशी हो रही है फ़लस्तीन में कि तारीख में उसकी कोई मिसाल नहीं मिलती और दुनिया इस पर खामोश है। तो इस एहतिजाजी मुजाहरे के ज़रिए उम्मत मुस्लिमा की सोच को बेदार करना है।